Hello again, race fans, and welcome to the H1 Unlimited Drivers Invitational Virtual Hydroplane Racing Series. It is the fourth stop on the 2020 H1 Unlimited Tour, and today we are coming to you from the shores of Lake Washington in Seattle, where the unlimited hydroplanes have raced for 70 years. Today, it is the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. My broadcast partner today is veteran hydroplane announcer from Madison, Indiana, Mr. Jeff Ayler. And let's get him into the broadcast now. Jeff, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Brad, good afternoon. Welcome back. I'm looking forward to today's HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. We've got a tight point race going on, the Driver Invitational Series, and an even tighter qualifying ladder coming up for this afternoon. It should be exciting. Our top qualifier today is Taylor Evans in the 99.9 bucket list KISW Miss Rock at 155.946. Jimmy Shane is our points leader with 3,834 points. Taylor Evans, our top qualifier, 9 points behind at 38.25. Next to the last race of the season, lots at stake here on the virtual Ted Jones race course.
Well, there is an awful lot at stake when you start looking at the high points, both the boat and team high point standings and those of the drivers. But it also is something special when the Unlimiteds come to Seattle. And as I said there in the opening, they've been racing here. This would be the 70th time that the boats have taken to the shores of Lake Washington and put on that incredible show that they do. And so many of the race teams are based in the Pacific Northwest that it really is something special for these drivers to win in their hometown.
It's sad that the event is not happening this weekend for real at Lake Washington. Brad, you and I spoke before the broadcast. I made a post on Facebook this morning. Someone out there in the Pacific Northwest in the Seattle area, born in like 1945, 6, 7, when they had to be like 5, 6, 7 years old. Is there anyone out there that has attended every Seattle Seafair hydroplane race? If so, the string was broken today. And if you know someone that has attended every one of them, let us know. We'd like to know who they are.
Yeah, absolutely. We would. And you and I came up with a couple of possibilities, but let's see what kind of a response we get to that. I know it was a different feeling for me this morning. Everything was the same as far as getting up this morning, thinking about a boat race and getting in my car and heading out on a drive, but unfortunately, I didn't make it all the way down to the Stan Sayers pit area, but we're going to do our best here. It's the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. It's virtual racing. It's the H1 Unlimited Drivers Invitational Virtual Racing Series. I'm ready to go. We've got some, we have to have some draws before we get the boats on the water. We have had our draws. We've had our qualifying, and I believe we have the qualifiers up on the screen right there. And boy, look how tight some of those speeds are. I expect we're going to see some very, very tight racing. I made the comment to you this morning, Jeff, that in 2019, the season started out in Guntersville, and Jimmy Shane was a winner. We went to Madison, Indiana. Jimmy Shane in the HomeStreet was a winner again. And then J. Michael Kelly broke through in Tri-Cities a year ago in 2019. It's been the same so far in the virtual racing series. Jimmy Shane took the first two. Kelly broke through last weekend, but I know there is some very stiff competition barking at their heels. We may have a third winner this weekend.
J. Michael, no doubt a force today in the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. Taylor Evans, our top qualifier. I've been so impressed with him this year. He's the crew chief for the 440 bucket list racing. He would love to win today. And Brad, Jeff Bernard, he won every heat he was in last week at Tri-Cities. He won every heat he was in at Madison. He is due to win a final heat today in the Goodman Real Estate. Could today be the day? And Jamie Nielsen is knocking on the door as well in the J&Ds. Any one of those three drivers that have not won this year could take this virtual race today at Seattle.
Absolutely. And Jamie Nielsen, you mentioned him. He's my dark horse today. That's my pick, that I think maybe he's going to step up and take the big trophy. But you talk about Jeff Bernard, and you saw the dramatic move he made on the final heat last year to try and run down his buddy J. Michael Kelly. You know, you can never count that guy out. So I expect we will have some terrific racing. We talked about the fact that Seafair has been around now for 71 years. We would have had boats on the water today for the 70th time. And for generations, Seafair has been creating memories for people of all ages. But sponsorship and ticket sales are not enough to cover the cost of producing a multi-week festival that touches over 2 million people each year. With all Seafair events canceled for 2020, they need your support to help this iconic organization to continue to create memories and unite communities for generations to come. To make a tax-deductible donation, simply go to seafair.org and click on the gold donate button and discover the many Seafair gifts that are available as a thank you for your support, including a special collector's edition 2020 gold pin. Seafair created 50 numbered gold pins to celebrate 70 years of hydroplane racing in Seattle as a fundraiser for the festival. To help Seafair into 2021, they need your support. And Jeff Ayler, going back up to that web address again, it is seafair.org. And they talk about those numbered gold pins. I have seen one of those pins and what they look like. They are very, very classy.
What a collectible, a great cause. Go online, make the tax-deductible donation. Let's keep Seafair going and the hydros on Lake Washington.
Jeff, with that, let's get to some boat racing. And so we're going to start off with our draws for Heat 1A and 1B. And doing the honors this morning, I'd like to welcome to the broadcast Mariana Matthews and Kathy McLemore, both of Seafair. Kathy is the race director at Seafair and wanted to make sure we note this is Kathy's 50th Seafair event. Let's turn it over to them for the draws for Heats 1A and 1B.
Hi, I'm Kathy McLemore.
And I'm Mariana Matthews, aka Seafair's Vanna White.
And I am the Seafair co-chair race chairman.
I'm as ready as I'm going to be for
Okay,
this
this is ready for the race. Going Heat 1A. U10.
Woohoo!
1A.
All right.
Okay. Heat 1B. U12. Yay. Heat 1A. Oh,
What is it? Is
that
it
91
16
or
or
is that
91?
16?
It's
Must be
91.
It's a U16.
No, it's a U91.
U91.
Yep.
91.
Okay. Do it again.
Heat 1B. Looks like a smiley face. U99.9.
Woohoo!
Heat 1A. U11. It's going to be a good race.
Okay.
Heat 1B. U1. Okay.
UB1.
That'd be our sponsors.
Kind of like UB.
Okay, Heat 1A. U7.
Woohoo!
Heat 1B. U98. And Heat
And the
1A.
last one.
The U440.
And that's it, folks.
That's it for the first 1A and 1B. Oh, I want to wish everybody a good luck, and we'll see you in the pits next year for 2021. It'll be our 70th year next year since we had to bypass 2020. Everybody have a good year. Stay safe.
Excited to see you all then at the real pits, not in Kathy's backyard pits. See you then.
Welcome back to the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. I'm Brad Luce along with Jeff Ayler, and we're getting ready to go racing. Would like to thank Mariana Matthews and Kathy McLemore for doing the draws for our Heats 1A and 1B. Another group of people we would like to thank today is our sponsors, because without our sponsors, we don't get to go racing. And today's racing event is sponsored by Staples. Staples, your one-stop shop for all your home office needs. 3 locations participating today. The locations in Spokane, Moses Lake, and Linwood. I'd also like to thank the folks at Angels Foster Care Community, 3 locations in Spokane, Seattle, and on the Olympic Peninsula in the state of Washington. Angels Foster Care Community, where they wrap community around children and families. Once again, we'd like to thank the folks at Atomic Screen Printing, Jesse Stitches, and Woodshed Embroidery. These folks have been on board with us the entire season. Again, without our sponsors, we don't get to go racing, so thank you. Atomic Screen Printing, Jesse Stitches, and Woodshed Embroidery. Also like to thank the American Powerboat Association, better known as the APBA. H1 Unlimited is a proud club of the American Powerboat Association, the national authority for boat racing in the United States. The APBA is a member-driven organization established in 1903 and headquartered in East Point, Michigan. For more information on the American Powerboat Association or to become a member, head over to www.apba.org. That's www.apba.org. Jeff Ayler, I'm ready to go racing. I think you probably are as well. I think we're going to get the draws up on the screen here. We can talk about who's in it, but I think there's nothing left to do now but put boats on the water and let's go.
I think we're ready to roll, Brad. Of course, you saw the U10 drawn into the first section of heats. They were a late scratch, and I understand it was a colorful draw, Brad, by Kathy and Mariana. The Elam is not in it today. It's the Goodman Real Estate. Let's go.
Yeah, I got to see a little bit of that draw. I stepped around the corner and checked out the monitor. It was pretty good. They were having fun. But that's what Seafair is all about, Jeff. It's about fun and bringing people together, and I'm glad to see the folks have a good attitude and trying to continue the tradition. We got our countdown coming up here. 2, 1, mark. We just had the countdown there to our 5-minute mark, except Jeff Ayler, it's a little bit different this time. We counted down to 5:05, and that's because of the pit arrangement here at the Stan Sayers Memorial Pit Area. It's a little difficult for some of the boats on the back side of the pit area to get out on the race course as quickly as those on the opposite side of the pit area, so we folded in an extra 5 seconds here for our start procedure. Other than that, everything is the same. We have a 1-minute score up buoy, which is the exit buoy of turn 1. The drivers cannot go past that buoy before the 1-minute mark, and then they can go up the backstretch where they can still change their lanes prior to the start. But once they reach the entrance pin to the upper corner, the north turn, or sometimes referred to as the floating bridge turn here in Seattle, as you see it there in the background, once they get up there, that entrance pin to that corner, they must hold their lane all the way to the start-finish line.
Thank you very much, Brad Luce. We're 3 minutes and 55 seconds away until the start for this virtual Unlimited 1A here in Seattle. We'll go on board with the the Golden Line. U91, Goodman Real Estate, Chuck Bernard out of Kent, Washington. Qualified second fast at 155.878 miles per hour. The 91, current third in points. On board with the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange, it's Jamie Nielsen, the pilot, out of Gig Harbor, Washington, in the U11 J&D's fourth fastest qualifier today at 155.057 miles per hour. The J&D's fifth in points in the Drivers' Invitational Series. Our next participant, the Tennessee Orange, the 440 Bucket List Racing, driven by Aaron Salmon out of Bonnie Lake, Washington, qualified 6th quick today at 148.658 miles per hour. The 440 currently 6th as well in the national point standings. Our final participant, the red, blue and white striping, it's the U7 Boitano Homes. Patrick Haworth, the chauffeur out of Valleyfield, Quebec, Canada, qualified at 145.727 miles per hour. The number 7, 7th as well in the Driver Invitational Boat Series National High Point standing. Brad, we're 220 away. 4 and 1A, 4 and 1B, and 1 is already parking the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange.
Yeah, there's a couple of them down there in that lower corner. Jamie Nielsen is down there. He's parked the 11 down there, and if he looks outside his right side rear view mirror, he's going to see Jeff Bernard in the Miss Goodman Real Estate. Otherwise, our other two boats are still maintaining a speed up at the top end of the race course. Is Mr. Howarth. There's our two parked boats down there, and it looks like Bernard now has moved in front of Jamie Nielsen, and that's legal. And the idea, remember, Jeff, as we said, when they came out on the race course, they cannot go past that exit buoy of that lower corner before 1 minute. We start the boat racing this way, this procedure, because we can't monitor for an 80-mile-per-hour rule. So we instead default back to the 1 minute score-up buoy at the exit to turn 1. Here comes Patrick Howarth down the front straightaway. He's going to come down, take a look at the parkers, and it appears as though Jamie vacated the area. And yeah, Jamie is gone. He has left Bernard down there. So Jeff's all down there by himself, but he's going to have to manage the 1 minute buoy.
Boy, tough break for Jamie Nielsen, Brad, but he will have plenty of time, should come around on the outside and still have a good start. Disadvantage on the outside.
Yeah, they're 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. It's a clean score up. And up the backstretch there, Jamie Nielsen. Now he's got to have a full rooster tail, Jeff, if he wants to move in on Jeff Bernard and take the lane away. But Bernard's going to try and keep the speed up and the RPM up and make sure that Jamie does not have that legal overlap. And he has effectively and successfully defended that inside lane position. So Bernard, now they've gone past that entrance buoy. Jeff is in 1, Nielsen is in 2, but still a lot of time to kill. 30 seconds until our start. These guys are already halfway through the top corner, the top end of the race course. You see everybody water up there. Yep.
They were real early, Brad, on the virtual Ted Jones race course. It's the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. The virtual version, as you can see, Bernard and Nielsen will creep and crawl to the start-finish line buoy with Salmon and Haworth well back. Boy, Haworth could have a smoker on the outside as we're racing in the virtual Unlimited 1A here at the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. The start was good according to Tate Meyer, our E-League commissioner. We run into turn number 1. Jeff Bernard there first in the Goodman Real Estate. Jamie Nielsen in second. Patrick Haworth in third. Aaron Salmon in fourth, and Brad, Jeff Bernard out in front, taking no prisoners.
Yeah, he's got a beautiful start. You just couldn't have written that start out any better. He had the inside lane, he had clean water, he had a lot of boat speed, and he was right on time. And you see what that dictates for him. He's got almost a full rooster tail on the second place boat, Jamie Nielsen, driving the U11. Jamie won't give up, but Jamie's got to be careful because he's got Haworth in his right side rear view mirror. 1 down, 2 more to go, Jeff.
Boy, they get around here quick on this virtual 2-mile Ted Jones race course on Lake Washington. Beautiful pictures delivered here from our camera crew with the E-League racing team. As we are halfway through Unlimited 1A, Jeff Bernard in front, Jamie Nielsen in second. You see Haworth in third. Brad Bernard looking for a win, 400 points to begin the day.
He is looking for 400 points. And as you said at the top of the show here, he has been so successful and so strong in the preliminary heats. He's won almost every prelim he's been in so far. Today, he wants to finally notch that victory in the final. But he's got a lot of racing to do before he gets there. Bring our leader across the start-finish line. Give him a white flag, Jeff. 1 to go.
2 complete, 1 to go for Jeff Bernard in the black and gold Goodman Real Estate. Looking for his first win in the 2020 H1 Drivers Invitational Series. He's knocked on the door twice this year, looking to get over that threshold here at Seattle. We're 2.5 in, a half a lap to go, and Brad loose. It looks like Bernard will etch 4-0-0 for first place, but still some work to do.
And that's what it's all about in H1 Unlimited Racing, whether we're doing real racing or virtual racing. It is all about collecting points and making your way into the final heat where it's a winner-take-all. Bring him down, Jeff Ayler. 400 points for Jeff Bernard.
We go on board with Jeff Bernard. The checkered flag is waving. Beautiful sight on the virtual Lake Washington race course. Bernard wins Unlimited 1A in the Goodman Real Estate. Second place will go to Jamie Nielsen in the J&Ds, the U11. Good run by Patrick Hontworth. He'll come across in third in the Boitano Homes. And
And Jeff Ayler, I'm getting
Aaron
word.
Salmon.
Yeah, I'm getting word that Aaron Salmon had some technical difficulties there and had to withdraw. He will score a did not finish. So tough break for Mr. Salmon on the 440 bucket list racing.
So with that, Brad Bernard, who was our second fastest qualifier, has 480 points right now. Jamie Nielsen with 360. The number 7 boat, Boitano Homes, with 265. And Brad, when we go into 1B, we talked about our points race with Taylor Evans being the top qualifier, Jimmy Shane in the 5th position. That vaulted Taylor Evans up to the national high points lead before we go into 1B. So we knew it was going to be tight. What's Debbie Gregory saying? Points, points, points.
It's what she used to walk up and down the pit area. That's what she would always say. Points, points, points. That's what it's all about. In the preliminary heats, we're going to take the top 6 boats in points accumulation during the preliminary racing, and those boats will advance to our winner-take-all final heat. We run 3 laps in our preliminary heats, like the one you just saw. In our final, we will go 5 times around the Ted Jones race course. So you have to be in it to win it, and the only way you get in that final is being of the top 6 boats in accumulated points. And that qualifying ladder that we talked about earlier and how tight those boats were bunched together, you get points for qualifying too, and those points do figure into your total. So it all adds up. You got to get in the final.
Boy, Brad, you've had opportunities many times to announce the race on radio and PA, real and virtual. This 2-mile course, when that starting clock hit 0, those 3 laps, they go quick.
They really do go quick, and it happens quick. And we always tell people when we're at the broadcast down at the lake and at the race course, when we're 5 minutes before we go racing, pick it up and get on down there. You don't want to miss it. It's very exciting. It's very quick, and it doesn't take very long because these boats are mighty fast. And it is the 2-mile race course, not the 2.5-mile variety we saw last week over in the Tri-Cities. But it is a very treacherous race course here in Seattle. You've got that log boom and all those pleasure crafts over there, and the waves from the boats hit the log boom and they come back on the race course. And I think we've got Jeff Bernard in here with us now. Jeff, have you got me? Brad Luce here.
I got you, Brad.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good.
Good start to the day. We were just talking about how important points are to get into the final heat. You just picked up 400 big ones, and I got to believe that one was pretty much over right at the start. You had a beauty. Inside lane, open water, and a lot of boat speed.
Yeah, we been practicing the starts here. I thought Tri-Cities was hard doing the starts, but Seattle's been a little bit challenging. I didn't get as much practice in this week as I wanted to, but I feel pretty good at least about my timing marks for the start. Lane 1 I think is key here with the turns being a lot bigger, and maybe lane 2, but somebody like Taylor on the inside, the speeds he's running, I'd rather be in lane 1. So that's going to be kind of the goal, is figuring out what I need to do to be lane 1 in the final, and hopefully we can make it through a final and see if we can bring one home for Goodman Real Estates in Seattle.
Yeah, we've been talking about that in the build-up to the racing today. You've had tremendous success in the preliminary heats, and I think you'd trade most of them for a victory in the final later on this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, missing a race, I wasn't really thinking about points for the year, but going into the final last weekend, we were actually leading points. So with Trey's 600 and something points that he got us in Gunnersville, now it's kind of focusing on the points battle too. So you got 2 things. We've won all of our preliminary heats, and that's good for me. I'd like to win a final, but I got to, like Tri-Cities, being that risky and giving up the second place, going for a win. We would have been leading points after the weekend. So I don't know, risk for reward. I need to just calm down in the final. Everybody wants to win. We're taking this really seriously, and in the finals, I think I'm just trying too hard, to be honest with you.
Well, somehow we will look for you to be in that final, and maybe your fortunes will change here on home waters on Lake Washington. Good luck. Congratulations, Jeff Bernard. It's a good start to the weekend.
Thanks, Brad and Jeff.
All right, Jeff Bernard, and you heard him say it, Jeff. He'd like to win one in the final, and he gave up a lot of points making that dramatic move a week ago, trying to go for the win in the Tri-Cities, and it cost him some. But he's going to be tough to beat, and you're going to have to reckon with Jeff Bernard.
Oh, you can hear it in his voice. All these drivers in this H1 Drivers Invitational Series in 2020, it's serious business, bragging rights. A lot of them are friends, and they don't want to be first loser, which is second. They want to be the gold medal on top.
Absolutely. And I think we're about ready for a countdown here for our Heat 1B of the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. We're about 15 seconds out from a 5:05 mark. An extra 5 seconds in our start procedure today. We are inside 10 seconds. It's Heat 1B of the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. 2 seconds, 1 mark. 5 minutes and 5 seconds, Jeff Ayler, to the start of Heat 1B. And I see the blue and white of Jimmy Shane and the HomeStreet coming away from the dock. Beautiful boat here, lovely paint scheme there that I know you were not necessarily involved with, but knew the people that did the painting on it. And I know you really like the colors on that one. The boat being owned by the citizens of Madison. That would be where you live, Mr. Ayler.
That is correct. And we go on board with Jimmy Shane out of Maple Valley, Washington, a native of Havre de Grace, Maryland, driving the HomeStreet blue and white. Our sponsor for today's virtual race at Seafair, the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. Jimmy Shane, the pilot of the U1 Miss HomeStreet, qualified fifth fastest at 153.341 miles per hour. Came in today your points leader, but right now a little bit down. We'll see how it fares out here in 1B. On board, this guy has been sensational this year. Taylor Evans out of Sammamish, Washington, driving the bucket list KISW Miss Rock, your top qualifier at 155.946 miles per hour. Brad, a final heat win later today. There'll be a big party out at Sammamish with Taylor Evans taking the checkered flag. On board the red, white, and blue, the U98 Grand Trucking American Dream, Trey Holt, the chauffeur. He is from Madison, Indiana, subbing for Corey Peabody today. Trey, seventh fastest in qualifying at 148.520 miles per hour. Trey doubles up on the vintage circuit here in Madison with the higher voltage. We go on board with the red and black Graham Trucking, the second entry for virtual owner Rob Graham. J. Michael Kelly drives the Graham Trucking, the U12. JMK from Bonnie Lake, Washington, third fastest qualifier today at 155.223 miles per hour. Brad, 4 up and running. We got 3 hot ones in here. And don't count out Trey Holt. He'd love to make a play in here in 1B to shake things up.
Yeah, he sure would. And of course, you mentioned J. Michael Kelly, as we see in the background there, coming up on his friend Jimmy Shane there. And there is the 99.9 Taylor Evans. He's already parked down there in the lower corner. JMK is not going to play that game this time through. He will go around again. But J. Michael, fresh off that win in the Tri-Cities 1 week ago, he is the defending HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair champion on Lake Washington. He'd love nothing more than to do it again here today.
And Natural High is Trey Holt's vintage hydroplane, Brad. What's wrong with me?
We'll allow that. So, looking at my watch, I've got 1:52 until our start. Again, the boats cannot pass the exit pin of turn 1 prior to 1 minute. That is their score-up buoy. And there is no minimum mile per hour or minimum speed limit on the boats. It is simply that they must be behind that 1 minute buoy at the exit to turn 1.
Brad, Taylor Evans comes in here, was the point leader, top qualifier. Pressure on for the young man.
he'll be able to handle it. This kid, he has really had a terrific season. I've enjoyed getting to know him better. I think he's having as much fun as anyone is. The pressure, yeah, he's feeling it just because he wants to win, and he wants to win for his sponsors, but he'll handle it. And he's got the inside lane right now as we come up on 2 seconds. 1, Mark, there's the 1 minute. It was a clean score up there, up the backstretch. Now we'll see if anybody gets a jump and can move over to an inside lane, Jeff.
We see the aerial as they approach turn number 2. You have to have your lane established right there at that entrance pin. And Taylor Evans is back, and he's going to be squeezed out of a lane. Now, J. Michael Kelly came over, and Jimmy Shane looks like he's secured the 1 lane. Let's put J. Michael Kelly in the 2 slot. Taylor Evans, prior to the 1 minute period, appeared to be in lane number 1, but he will be in lane 3. Trey Holt will go to the outside. Brad, we're 23 seconds away. Tough break for Taylor Evans. He wanted 1. He'll settle for 3.
He's going to get into 3 because that's the move we call the leapfrog, and it certainly was legal. There was enough overlap on the boats, and the other drivers, Jimmy Shane, J. Michael Kelly, moved to an inside lane. Bring him to the line, Jeff.
We're coming to the line. 2, 1, Mark. And it is a clean start. We're racing in the virtual Unlimited 1B here at Seattle. Taylor Evans on the outside with a great start, but Jimmy Shane on the inside covering less real estate. And now it looked like J. Michael Kelly went to the inside wake of Shane. Now he goes back out side by side up the back chute. Shane and Evans, Kelly in 3rd. Brad, we got a good one here in 1B.
Yeah, I got a real good one going up the backstretch. They are tied together, and you can't see him just barely on the right side of the screen is J. Michael Kelly, and Taylor Evans has got to leave room for him in there because Evans is running in lane 3, but he's got to leave a slot in there for Kelly, and Michael is making a play on the inside of Taylor Evans. Meanwhile, Jimmy Shane with about a half a rooster tail. This is some good racing, Jeff, in Heat 1B.
1 complete, 2 to go. Shane out in front. Walks the home street from side to side, entering turn number 1, puts it on the hook. Taylor Evans remains in 2nd in lane number 3, and they're leaving a lane for J. Michael Kelly, and Kelly swung out, got into the wake of Taylor Evans, and now he swings to the outside wake. Brad, we're halfway through it. Shane in front, but a miss. Evans could capitalize in 2nd on the outside.
Yeah, and J. Michael Kelly's in a tough spot back there. You mentioned it, through that lower corner. He got wet on more than 1 occasion, but he's still hanging in this thing. And Taylor Evans is going to have to be aware of J. Michael Kelly. But off the turn, top end of the race course, coming down to pick up a white flag with 1 more to go. It is Jimmy Shane driving the 1, the HomeStreet Bank.
We'll come down to get the white flag. 2 complete, 1 to go. These hydroplanes are blistering this virtual Ted Jones race course. Final lap. Jimmy Shane in front. In the Miss HomeStreet, Taylor Evans. 2nd in the bucket list, KISW Miss Rock. Evans is trying, but running out of time. Brad, half a lap to go. It's Shane in front.
Shane is in front, and I think J. Michael Kelly made another move to the inside. There he is. He's on the inside of Taylor Evans. This is going to be an interesting corner at the top end of the race course. Shane is to the entrance pin. He'll come through clean, but it's Kelly on the inside trying to run down Taylor Evans. Jeff, this could be very close. I think Kelly's actually got the lead now.
The race is for 2nd. Kelly sticks his Graham Trucking out in front in 2nd. Jimmy Shane will win the virtual Unlimited 1B, and what a run by J. Michael Kelly to get 2nd right there on the final lap in the Graham Trucking. Taylor Evans will get the 3rd place position in the 99.9, and Trey Holt will come down to get 4th. So Shane wins it, followed by Kelly, Evans, and Holt. That's how they run here in 1B. And Brad, Jimmy Shane was our 5th fastest qualifier, wins a heat. Very competitive field here today at the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair.
Yeah, and it just shows how important that inside lane is. There's a lot more to it. You've got to have a lot of boat speed. You've got to be able to fly your boat. You've got to be able to handle the boat around the race course. But one of the first things that you need to do is, if you can, get yourself a good position on an inside lane. Jimmy was able to do that with the leapfrog up the backstretch and take that inside lane away from Taylor Evans, and then he was able to hold him off. But he had a lot of red and orange in the rearview mirror during that heat. And I think we may have Mr. Shane with us. Jimmy, have you got me? Brad Luce here.
Mr. Luce, how are you?
I am doing very well, my friend. How's Mr. Shane after a good start to the weekend's racing here?
Pretty good. Not the best qualifying effort for Miss HomeStreet at Seafair this year, but we had a good first heat run there, and I'm happy to come away with the win in 1A or 1B.
And it's awfully important to put your boat on an inside lane, isn't it?
It's super important here. It's very hard to perform a leapfrog maneuver here in Seattle with the 2-mile course. So anytime you have a chance to get the inside lane, you definitely want to try to take advantage of that.
And you were able to get that done. And I just made the comment before you jumped in, you got out in front of those two guys that were behind you, but you had a lot of orange and red in the rearview mirrors.
Oh, everybody is so close in speed. I mean, the top 4 qualifying guys were within a mile an hour of each other. I was I was a little bit further back than that. Didn't get as much practice this week as I would have liked, but I've got some really good timing marks, and I think I've got a good race set up for this weekend. So hopefully, the Miss HomeStreet performs well in the qualifying and the final heat.
And I love asking you the same question. I think I do it each week we have these races, but you made the comment when we were down in Guntersville, driving these things is a whole lot more difficult than driving the real boat. You still feel that way?
It's very difficult. I mean, it's different. It's very new. It's a new challenge for all of us as drivers. And we are, I mean, like Jeff said earlier, we are taking it very seriously. And we're all competitive just in nature, and I think that this is a good outlet for everybody. Hopefully, all the fans are watching that don't have a chance to go down to Genesee Park this year to see the boats and the Blue Angels, and they get the Seafair experience. But H1 and the Hydro Sim whole. Everybody that's involved in this has done a really good job of keeping everybody engaged. So thanks again to Scott Przybylski. Thanks again to H1. And thanks again to all of our sponsors. Go Miss HomeStreet.
Well, very good, Mr. Shane. We'll look to talk to you a little further on down the line, but a good start to the weekend, 400 points in Heat 1B. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Jeff Ayler, there's our winner, and he talks about this being a good outlet. I think it is a good outlet. I think it is a way to keep H1 Unlimited racing in front of our fans, and that's what we're trying to do, and we hope everybody is having fun. We're about ready to go to our draw for Heat 2A and Heat 2B, but before we do, I'd like to follow up on what Mr. Shane just said and thank our sponsors a little bit, starting with the folks at Staples. Locations of Staples in Spokane, Moses Lake, and Linwood, Washington. Staples, your one-stop shop for all your home office needs. And the Angels Foster Care Community on the Olympic Peninsula in the state of Washington, also in Spokane and Seattle. Angels Foster Care, where they wrap community around children and families. Atomic Screen Printing, Jesse Stitches, and Woodshed Embroidery. These organizations have been with the series here since we started back in early June, actually late May, and we thank them for their participation. Atomic Screen Printing, Jesse Stitches, and Woodshed Embroidery. With that, I think it's about time, Jeff, that we go to our heat draws for Heats 2A and 2B. Doing the honors this time is Jack and Finn Peterson. Now, I'm not going to tell you who's who on this one, Jeff, but Jack and Finn Peterson are going to do the draw along with their dog Sunday. So this should be pretty good, but it should also be mentioned that Jack and Finn are J-Stock hydroplane drivers, and Jack is the 2-time Seattle Seafair J-Stock Hydro champion. Jack, Finn, and Sunday with the draw for 2A and 2B.
Hello everyone, we will be drawing for Heats 2A and 2B of the Seafair Cup, fittingly, out of the Junior Class Champion Cup. Here we go. For Heat 2A, we will start off with the U11.
For Heat 2B, we're going to start off with the U12.
For Heat 2A, we'll have the U10.
For Heat 2B, the U7.
2A, the U1.
2B, the U99.9.
2A, the 440.
For Heat 2B, U91.
And finally, for Heat 2A, we'll have the U98. Thank you. Let's go racing.
you very much, Jack and Finn Peterson, for our draws for Unlimited's 2A and 2B here at the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. And Sunday the Pooch, thank you for joining in as well. Jack, a two-time winner of the J-Stock Hydros at Seafair. Unlimited 2A coming up. We'll get a clock countdown coming up here shortly. Boats participating. The drivers are Jamie Nielsen, Jimmy Shane, Aaron Salmon, and Trey Holt. Unlimited 2B coming up. Chauffeurs participating are J. Michael Kelly, Patrick Haworth, Taylor Evans, and Jeff Bernard. If you're just joining us, we began the day moments ago. Jeff Bernard won Unlimited 1A, followed by Jamie Nielsen in second, Patrick Haworth in third, and Aaron Salmon, a did not finish in 1A. Heat 1B just moments ago was taken by Jimmy Shane. In the HomeStreet, second place, J. Michael Kelly. Our top qualifier, Taylor Evans, was third. And in the fourth position was Trey Holt in the 98 Graham Trucking American Dream.
Jeff, one thing we might want to mention here, we've had our count at the 5-minute period has been off just a scotch here this morning in heats 1A and 1B. When we get the countdown now, it will be to 5 minutes and 10 seconds instead of 5 minutes and 5 seconds. That's why we're 5 seconds off on our counts each time. And I know there's some fans out there like you and I, Jeff. 2 seconds, 1 mark. 5:10 until the start of our Heat 2A. And I know there's fans like you and I, Jeff, that are probably listening out there somewhere, and they have a stopwatch in their hands because you can't go to a boat race without one, right? I know you don't, and I don't.
I know it. I was like, gosh, I hope the two AAAs and this clock countdown weren't off.
Yeah, the drivers were talking about having good timing marks. You and I were not as efficient on that, but we've got it now. So I'm looking at mine versus the screen, and I appear to be synced up, so I think we're okay.
Boats leaving the dock here for the virtual Unlimited 2A. We go on board Jamie Nielsen out of Gig Harbor, nearby resident in Seattle, driving the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange J&Ds. Jamie was second place back in 1A. On board with Jimmy Shane, we just spoke to him moments ago in the HomeStreet Blue and White. Our sponsor today for the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair, Jimmy Shane, a winner in Unlimited 1B. Jimmy hails from Maple Valley, right nearby in Seattle. Tennessee Orange, Bucket List Racing, Aaron Salmon out of Bonnie Lake, Washington. The 440, 0 points in 1A. It did not finish. They're looking to hit the board here in 2A. They need 400. And our fourth participant would go on board with the red, white, and blue. Rob Graham's second entry, virtually here in Seattle. It's the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. Trey Holt from Madison, Indiana, driving today for Corey Peabody. Trey finished fourth back in Unlimited 1B. Brad, I've got 3:15 until the start. Is that right?
That's what I've got too. Now it's down to 3:10 right now, 3:10 until the start. And you gave a great rundown on the boats here that are competing in our Heat 2A. And having just watched the draw with Jack and Finn Peterson, I know which boat the dog Sunday is rooting for in this one. That was great seeing the dog wearing the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange, the J&D colors. 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Up the backstretch there, looking at Aaron Salmon. You see the boats tied to the log boom up there.
And Brad, what a great job our game creator, Scott Przbilski out of San Diego, California. This virtual Ted Jones race course with the backdrops, phenomenal. Excellent job.
It really is. And Jeff, I don't know how familiar you are with the race course here in Seattle, but when you really start to pick apart that log boom back there, some of those boats on the log boom are the actual boats that are there every year, and they are tied up in their actual order that these boats have traditionally had, these pleasure craft. So it is very realistic right down to the boats on the water and the boats on the log boom.
Great stuff. We see Trey Holt cutting through the infield in the red, white, and blue U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. We're coming up on the 1 minute period. Brad, we're 1 minute and 45 seconds away. For fans just join us, you have to be behind the exit pin of turn number 1 prior to the start to be a legal starter. And then that's where the games begin. Then you have to have your lane established prior to the entrance pin of turn 2. A critical time here as we're counting the clock down for 1B.
Yeah, we sure are. And you see Jimmy Shane, he's not dead in the water down there. Well, he actually is, but he's doing that on purpose. Still with 20 seconds until that 1 minute mark. Jimmy fresh off that victory in Heat 2, 1B, and he will try and back it up here with another one. Now the boats start to accelerate. We're inside 10 seconds to the 1 minute buoy. Jeff, bring them to the buoy.
We're 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, and by my watch and eye, everyone well behind that 1 minute pin. Clean score up for our Commissioner Tate Meyer. Jimmy Shane appears to be in prime position to get lane number 1. Brad Nielsen to the outside. Will he cut over? Trey Holt was racy there before the 1 minute pin in the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, and I don't think he got enough overlap, and he did not. So he did not move over on Trey Holt. So Trey was able to hold on to the lane 2 and then got very close. They may have swapped a little paint, Trey Holt and Jimmy Shane, as they got to the entrance pin to the corner at the top end of the race course. Inside 25 seconds until the start. It is Shane sitting in 1. It is in Holt sitting in 2. It is Nielsen in 3. And then on the outside is going to be Aaron Salmon. 10 seconds to the start of our Heat 2A. Jeff, bring him to the line.
5 seconds away. It's the virtual 2A here at Seattle. It appears to be a clean start. We're racing, and the one that had the best start was on the outside, Aaron Salmon, in the bucket list racing. But we go to the inside. Jamie Nielsen takes the lead in lane number 2 in the J&Ds. Jimmy Shane back, and Brad off the corner. Nielsen has been improving in sim racing. Clear-cut lead out in front in J&Ds.
He certainly does have a clear-cut lead, and we've got a dead heat for second place behind him. Both rear-view mirrors of the J&D's U11 have got boats in them. And keep an eye on Jimmy Shane. Jimmy was late at the start. I don't know quite what happened, but he definitely was late at the start, but he's trying to make up ground on the inside.
We'll come down to complete lap number 1. You see Shane hidden in the rooster tail. This one is not over. 2 miles in, 4 miles to go for Jamie Nielsen out in front in the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange. Driving Jimmy Shane clean on the inside in the HomeStreet, and Brad, they're now side by side in the south turn on the Ted Jones race course. Shane takes the lead. Nielsen counters back. Brad, we're halfway through it. They're deck to deck.
Yeah, they really are deck to deck. This is very good racing up the backstretch. Nielsen really wants to pull this off, and he's got as much boat speed as Jimmy Shane does. He's just running a bigger race course being on the outside. Shane's got him now by a couple of boat lengths, but there's still a lot of racing to go, and Nielsen does not want to call this one done just yet. He'd love to run down the powder blue and white HomeStreet, coming down to put another one in the books, Jeff.
White flag displayed, 2 down, 1 to go, and what a great job by Jimmy Shane whittling his way through the field. The advantage he had was on the inside lane. It proved valuable here. Shane out in front. Make it 7 boat lengths over Jamie Nielsen in second in the J&Ds. Time is running out here in the virtual 1B. Brad, half a lap to go. Shane looking for his second heat win on the afternoon.
Yes, he is looking for his second heat win, and I think Nielsen now will just settle back there and pick up the 300 points. We've been talking about how important points are to make it into the final. You don't win the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair in the preliminaries, but you can certainly lose it. I think he'll settle for his 300 points, but bring our leader and our apparent winner across the start-finish line, Jimmy Shane.
On board with Jimmy Shane in the regatta sponsor, HomeStreet. The sponsor on the boat as well. They win Unlimited 2A, Jimmy Shane and Miss HomeStreet. Jamie Nielsen led early on, but will settle for second in the U11. J&D's on board with Aaron Salmon. He will get the 3rd place position in the 440 bucket list racing. And Trey Holt, he was in lane number 2 to begin the heat, but dropped back, will finish 4th in the Graham Trucking American Dream. And Brad Luce, Jimmy Shane, He said in the interview after 1B, my qualifying wasn't good, but it counts when they go racing. He's 2 for 2.
He is 2 for 2. I want to ask him about what happened at the start. He was definitely back behind the field, and that makes it difficult. It's great if you can be on that inside lane, which he was, but it can be a curse if you trail the field into that lower corner because there's an awful lot of water in the air, but he was able to navigate through it and have that inside lane pay some dividends. So I think we've got Jimmy back with us, and if you can hear me, Mr. Shane, it looked like you were a little tardy on the start, and it made things a little more difficult on you.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the starts here in Seattle are interesting. It's a lot longer run to the start-finish line than Tri-Cities is. So the timing marks are completely different. So I was definitely a little bit tardy on the start, but luckily I had a good lane position in lane 1.
Well, and that's what we talked about when we were speaking with you after your previous heat win. That inside lane is just so important. But I was just talking before you got on. It can be a curse if you're late getting into that lower corner, but you were able to navigate through the flying water down there, hold your line, and run down a very quick Jamie Nielsen.
Yeah, luckily I had the U98 inside of me, between me and Jamie, and I think that really made the difference in that heat. I think Jamie had to take it a little bit wide into the first turn, and I luckily was able to hang it on tight there in lane 1. And that first lap was a pretty much a doozy though for me. I had to Jamie was definitely keeping me honest in lane 1, and I was lucky enough to make it through there clean. And just lane position is key here.
And you wouldn't expect anything different from Mr. Nielsen, would you? Keep you honest.
No. Absolutely.
Well, you're 2 for 2. You keep talking about that 5th place qualifying speed and how it wasn't all that, you weren't all that proud of it, but I'll tell you, you'll take those 2 heat victories so far, but I know the one you want the most. That's the one coming up a little later on in the day. Congratulations, Jimmy. Good run. We'll look for you in the 3rd section.
Thanks so much. Have a great day, guys.
All right. Jimmy Shane, boy, it would certainly be exciting for him, Jeff Ayler, for Jimmy Shane to drive the HomeStreet Bank Unlimited Hydroplane to victory at the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair.
Right now, his race total, 850 points. Jeff Bernard is drawn in 2B. If Jeff would win 2B, he would go out with 880. So right now, Brad, by my tallies, Jimmy Shane is vaulted back up in front prematurely here in our National High Points race in the Drivers Invitational Series. But lots of math to do, lots more racing to do. We're ready for 2B. It should be a good one.
Let's get it on. We've got the 12, the 7, the 99.9, and the 91 in our heat. We will monitor the official radios here and get a countdown to our 5-minute, 10-second mark. And that will be coming up shortly. It is Heat 2B of the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. We are 3 seconds to 1 mark. 5 minutes and 10 seconds, Jeff Ayler. It is Heat 2B of the 2020 virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. Good to see racing. Go for it.
Where's the virtual Brad Luce on the public address announcers tower?
Well, it's right back there in the center of the screen. I don't know if I'm on there, but yeah, there's a tower back there. I don't know, Jeff.
We'll get you fixed up down the road.
We got boats on the race course with 4:30 to the start of Heat 2B. Give us a rundown, Jeff.
Thank you, Brad Luce. We're on board with Taylor Evans out of Sammamish, Washington, driving the 99.9 Bucket List KISW Miss Rock. Taylor, 3rd place, back in Unlimited 1B. On board with J. Michael Kelly, the red, black, and silver Graham Trucking, the U12. J. Mike from nearby in Bonnie Lake, Washington. J. Michael Kelly, 2nd in Unlimited 1B. On board the Goodman Real Estate, the gold and black Jeff Bernard chauffeurs out of Kent, Washington. Jeff Bernard, a winner, back in Unlimited 1A, looking for his 2nd here in just a bit. On board Patrick Haworth, north of the border, out of Valleyfield, Quebec, Canada, in the U7 Boitano Homes. Patrick was 3rd in Unlimited 1A. Brad, that's our 4 boats, and we got 3 hot drivers in here. Kelly, Evans, and Bernard. And don't count out Patrick, but the first three I mentioned, they want to win. They want 400 points.
Yeah, they certainly do. And we've talked many times, even just today, about the success that Jeff Bernard has had, especially in the preliminary heats. It would be a news flash if he were not to win. But as you just stated, he's really going to have his hands full with this one. This is going to be a very competitive heat. Still a lot of time before our start on my watch, Jeff. I've got 3 minutes. 3 minutes to the start of heat 2B.
Correct, Brad. Now just under the 3-minute mark, approaching 250, and here's where the games begin. There is the entrance pin of turn number 1 here on the Birchall Ted Jones Racecourse. It is the park and start format here in the Birchall H1 Unlimited Series, the Driver's Invitational. Taylor Evans already parking. Now Bernard moving up there, Brad. Will Jeff elect to stay on power, go through turn 1, cut through the infield, and maybe make another maneuver? He's going to have to, because there's the exit.
Yeah, I thought he was going to just jump in front of Taylor Evans and then shut it down, but instead he kept the power on, kept the boat going, and went all the way through the lower corner. Now look for him to cut the course as he's doing right there and come back down behind our trollers. The first boat he's going to come up behind is going to be that of the Graham Trucking, the U12, with last week's winner in the Tri-Cities, J. Michael Kelly. So interesting right now as they sit in that lower corner. Now watch what Bernard's going to do. Is he's going to sneak inside of Kelly, but where's he going to go from there? You got to think Evans is sitting. Look, we got a bit of a traffic jam there. There's no place to go. Wow, it's right. Jeff just drove himself into a hole, and now he's going to have to get out of it going around Kelly, I would assume.
All these drivers have spotters, just like real hydroplane racing, and you talk about a traffic jam. It's I-5 on a weeknight going home from Seattle.
It was indeed. Jeff took a risk there, but Kelly's spotter was telling him exactly what Jeff was doing. And he was just saying, just sit right on the transom of Taylor Evans and don't let him in. And they didn't. But now we're inside 10 seconds, and Bernard's going to try and roll up some speed on the outside, Jeff.
Coming up, we're 2-1, and it's going to be close. Clean score up for our officials. Taylor Evans, he was there first, but Brad not hitting that throttle. Kelly and Bernard can move over.
Yeah, I think Kelly certainly can. He comes over. Bernard comes over. Oh, you called it. And Taylor Evans was on that inside lane. He's now going to find himself out in lane number 3. Except now he jumps inside Bernard. He goes inside Bernard, and that was right at the entrance pin to that upper corner, and that's when you have to establish your lane. Oh, we got boats, I think, coming together. They're very, very close. The
Brad,
I'm going to have to take a look at this one.
I'm thinking, did Bernard get there first? We'll have to check this throughout the heat. I thought Bernard got to the score-up pin first before Evans. 10 seconds away. Unlimited 2B. Kelly in 1, Evans in 2, Bernard in 3, Haworth on the outside. We're 3, 2, 1, mark, and it might be Evans over. We'll see. We're racing in Unlimited 2B here at the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. Physically out in front is Taylor Evans, but he's got company on the inside with J. Michael Kelly. We come off turn number 1. Brad, it's Kelly and Evans side by side.
Yeah, and right now it's Taylor Evans on the outside, showing a lot of boat speed up the backstretch, but he may be one of the and he did. We're just getting word right now, Jeff Ayler, that Taylor Evans, the boat on the outside, your leader, the bright orange 99.9, did jump the start. So he is a lap down. Your leader is on the inside. It is J. Michael Kelly in the red, black, and silver Graham Trucking.
1 complete, 2 to go. The orange and black, a gun jumper running now in 4th. The boat to the inside, the red and black Graham Trucking. J. Michael Kelly, your leader. Kelly in 1st. Jeff Bernard back in the 2nd position, you see. And following him in the 3rd spot is Patrick Haworth. Brad, we're halfway through it. Taylor Evans, tough start to this virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. He wants to get these 169 and see how the draws for the 3rd section fare out.
Absolutely. And we mentioned that Taylor is a gun jumper here, so he is a lap down, but it's not taking away from the visual of this great boat racing here. A couple of H1 Unlimited virtual hydroplanes tied together, side by side, coming across the start-finish line right in front of you, Mr. Ayler.
2 complete, 1 to go. J. Michael Kelly on the inside appears to be physically in second, but he is your leader as the physical front runner. Taylor Evans a lap down with a gun jump. So Kelly comfortably in front. Jeff Bernard, you see there in second. Patrick Haworth in the third spot here in the virtual 2B on the Ted Jones race course. Half a lap to go, Brad. It's Kelly in front.
It is Kelly in front. He looks like he's chasing down Taylor Evans. That's what he is doing, but Taylor Evans is a lap down. So your leader is the second boat coming off the top end of the race course. There you're on board with J. Michael Kelly. You see the lane being left for him there. Plenty of room, and he's just got to bring it down across the start-finish line, and he will pick up 400 big points, Jeff.
Beautiful shot. We're on board with J. Michael Kelly. Crosses the start-finish line. Bowie, your winner of Unlimited 2B here in Seattle. Jeff Bernard in the black and gold Goodman Real Estate crosses for second and 300 points. Good run for Patrick Haworth, and the Boitano Homes comes across in the third position. And Taylor Evans, Brad, unfortunately, with that gun jump, he is running his final lap. And when he crosses the start-finish line, Bowie, he will score 169 points. And boy, I know he's going to be disappointed, but he will look to the third section. And Brad, with that, Evans with a third and 1B, a fourth and 2B, could be in a possible must-win situation in the third section to make the front row of the 6-boat final.
Absolutely. Yeah, he'll be disappointed in himself for jumping that start, but he was in there with some awfully fast competition. He wanted to win. These guys are competitors, and if you're a couple of ticks late, it can be disaster in hydroplane racing, but as we just saw, be a tick or two early, and it can really cost you. And to your point, Taylor Evans is hoping it doesn't cost him a spot in the final heat. So looking at the numbers, after our second section of heats here, we've run 1A, 1B, 2A, and 2B. We will run all the boats one more time. Every boat is going to have one more opportunity to score points before we tally them all up and put our 6 boats on the water for the final. So we're getting ready for our draw for heats 3A and 3B. Before we get to that, let's take a moment and thank our sponsors once again. Thank our sponsors, Staples in Spokane, Moses Lake in Linwood, and the Angels Foster Care Community in Spokane, Seattle, and the Olympic Peninsula. Atomic Screen Printing, Jesse's Stitches, and Woodshed Embroidery. Also like to thank the American Powerboat Association. Without our sponsors, we don't get to go racing. So we thank them very, very much. It's time for our draw for Heat 3A and 3B.
We got our winner in here too, Brad, J. Michael Kelly.
We do. Mike, can you hear us okay?
I got you loud and clear.
Very, very good. Mr. Kelly, congratulations on the nice heat win here in our Heat 2B. I want to ask you about the start because there were gun jumpers there. How hard is it for you to hold back and not put your foot in it, thinking you're right on your timing marks and the other guys have got to be early? How difficult is that?
Oh, it's tough. You see those guys on the outside just rolling, and if you don't beat them the first turn, it's going to make life hard on you. And so, just holding back and making sure you stick to your numbers. This is what I did, and paid off. Got the Graham Trucking boat first place in that heat, and but it was fun. It was definitely exciting before. During the trolling period, you had Jeff boxed in back there behind Taylor and I could feel the boat getting nudged behind when he started going out behind. So it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. A little bit like NASCAR down there. You guys are kind of tapping the bumpers, and I got to think your spotter was telling you just stay right on the transom with Taylor Evans and don't let him in there.
Oh yeah, it was pretty exciting. I got to thank Quentin. He's been doing a really good job spotting for me these last few races, and it definitely helps me a ton. But I'm having a blast doing this. I feel like I'm getting better at it and getting the feel for it. And we'll see how the rest of the heats go today.
Well, you're the defending champion here on Lake Washington. I got to think very similar to Tri-Cities last week. You'd love to back it up with another win this weekend.
Yeah, we want to keep this Graham trucking boat on top, come away with some more race wins, and make Rob Graham and my entire Graham trucking crew proud.
Well, very good. So good run. Congratulations on the victory in Heat 2B. We'll see you in the third section of Heat. You're in good shape right now to keep scoring points and find your way into the final. J. Michael Kelly, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
All right. There he is, Jeff Ayler, a happy guy coming off that big win a week ago. You're going to have to deal with him at some point before the day is done.
Oh, without a doubt. And you can hear it in his voice, too. J. Mike wants to win, and all 8 drivers today, they would love to win this virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. But, Brad, in like any form of racing, there's only one winner, a lot of luck, a lot of skill. It's going to be an interesting final. But as you mentioned earlier, we got some draws coming up for 3A and 3B.
Yeah, I almost forgot about Mr. Kelly standing up here in the broadcast booth with us, so I'll apologize to the fans for that. Now it is time for the draw for Heat 3A and 3B, and for that, we will turn it over to Jan and Howard Shaw of H1 Unlimited to provide us with the draw for Heats 3A and 3B. Jan and Howard Shaw.
All right, we're here today to draw the heats for 3A and 3B for the H1 Driver Invitational at HomeStreet Bank Cup in Seattle Seafair. With me today is the Operations Director, Jan Shaw, for H1. I'm Howard Shaw, the Assistant Referee for H1. Now, if you never had your chance to work under your wife as your boss, you know what kind of pressure I'm under to get this right. Also, this is probably more scrutinized than the Donald Trump tax return by Nancy Pelosi. So here we go. Jan, draw the first number, please.
3A, 1.
3A, 1.
3B, 10.
3B is 10.
3A is 12.
3A is 12.
3B, 99.9.
3B, 99.9.
3A, 98.
3A, 98.
3B, 91.
3B, 91.
3A, 11.
3A, 11.
3B, 440.
3B, 440.
3A, 7.
3A, 7. There's your heat draws for 3A and 3B. Have a great day. Looking forward to seeing all you guys in the near future.
Okay, the draw we just did.
Our thanks to Jan and Howard Shaw of H1 Unlimited for doing the draw for our Heat 3A and Heat 3B coming up here in just a few moments. This is the last opportunity, Jeff Ayler, for our boats to score points. We've been talking about the importance of points all day long. The 6 boats with the most points will run for our winner-take-all final of the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair, one of the crown jewels on the H1 circuit every year. Been racing unlimited hydroplanes in Seattle for 70 years, the 71st Seafair and the 70th year of boat racing here in what is one of the most beautiful settings you'll ever see on the planet. When the weather is right on Lake Washington with the mountains, the cityscapes, the water, it is a beautiful, beautiful sight here for H1 Unlimited Racing, and that's why we've been doing it for 70 years and why we enjoy it so very, very much.
And Brad, this has been the site for every unlimited hydroplane race, this Lake Washington site here, except for 1 year, 1974 at Sand Point, when the hydroplane races were run out there at the naval base.
They were the Naval Air Station at Sand Point in 1974. It was the Gold Cup that year in Seattle, and it was a terrific race. I think if memory serves me right, I think we ran the final heat about 15 minutes after 8 o'clock that night. We had all kinds of issues with boats sinking, boats burning, restarts. But what a great day of racing it was. And that was an attempt by Seafair to charge admission to go to the annual Seafair boat race. And that was a venue that provided a gated entry. And that was why the race was moved up there in 1974. But you're right. Every other year, it's been right down here at the south end of Lake Washington, Mercer Island in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Mount Rainier to the south, and Mount Rainier to the south, Mount Baker to the north, and all the familiar landmarks that are very familiar to unlimited hydroplane racing fans. We are coming up on a countdown to our 5 minute and 10-second mark. If you've got a watch, you want to have it ready to go. We are 4, 3, 2, 1 mark. 5 minutes and 10 seconds to the start of our Heat 3A. This one looks really good on paper, Jeff Ayler. I'm looking for a barn burner here in 3A.
It's going to be a good one. Boats starting to leave the Stan Sayers pit area here on the virtual Lake Washington race course as they make their way out on the virtual Ted Jones race course here at the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. We'll ID the boats here for you in Unlimited 3A. 4 sets to go. On board with Jimmy Shane in the U1 Miss HomeStreet. Jimmy Shane, perfect on the weekend, currently first in points with 850 in today's auction, and he can reset.
He can definitely reset. That is one of the different rules with the Drivers Invitational Series versus the E-League Racing. If a driver does exactly what just happened to Jimmy Shane, he can reset and get back on the water and still compete, and no penalty. So if you're going to do it, I guess that's as good a time to suffer the unfortunate blowover.
On board with Trey Holt out of Madison, Indiana, subbing for Corey Peabody today. In the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream, Trey sets in the 7th position in points with 368 going into 3A. On board with the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange, J&D's. I'm sure Wes Ward from J&D's is watching. The driver, Jamie Nielsen out of Gig Harbor. Jamie comes in here 4th in points on the day with 660 in the J&D's. On board with J. Michael Kelly, the red and black, silver trim, the Graham Trucking, the U12. J. Michael from Bonnie Lake, currently 3rd in points on the day with 770. Brad, 3 drivers are already locked into the final heat, regardless of their finishes in 3A and 3B. Drivers locked into the final are Jimmy Shane, Jeff Bernard, and J. Michael Kelly. Shane and Kelly find themselves in here in 3A. There's a points battle taking place. They will be on the throttle.
And look how they are coming into this lower corner, still with 240 until the start. Remember, for those of you just joining us now, you cannot pass the exit buoy of turn 1 prior to the 1 minute mark. If you do, you have to go back and rescore up and catch it back up again. It looked like Kelly was sitting in 1. We get an aerial shot here. Now you can see that Jamie Nielsen has moved over into lane number 1. And keep an eye on Jimmy Shane. Is he going to vacate the premises? I think so. Shane has said he's not going to play this game with 210. Jeff, he's going to head up and go past that 1 minute buoy and cut the race course and come up behind everybody one more time.
Coming up on the 2 minute mark for 3A, 2 minutes has come and gone. And Brad, is he going to go on up to the north turn? No, now he cuts through the infield.
Yeah, I thought maybe he was going to come all the way up to the top end, and then he was really going to have to put his foot in it. You don't have to go slow and troll up to that 1 minute buoy. You can time it and come up behind everybody on the outside with a lot of boat speed. There's more than one way to handle this park and start, but if you don't know what the park and start is, when you see those 3 boats down in the lower corner, that's what we're talking about. That's where the term comes. With the Stan Sayers pit area there behind the boats, and there is Jimmy Shane. Now we'll see where he comes with the HomeStreet. 120 until the start. There's the entrance pin to the lower corner. There's J. Michael Kelly. See where he's going to wind up. Right now, Jamie Nielsen is still hanging on that inside lane. Watch for Shane. See if he doesn't come with a lot of boat speed, Jeff, and then try and leapfrog everybody. He's coming on the outside hard.
You called it perfectly, Brad. 2-1 mark. I believe everyone legal at 1 minute. And boy, Jimmy is out by the log boom. He's going to have to come across with a ton of boat speed. Is he going to have enough, Brad? It's going to be tight.
I don't think he can do it. I don't think he's got it. Kelly he was able to defend that inside lane, but so was Jamie Nielsen. The problem is now they've got themselves up there with 35 seconds until the start, and they mentioned it's a long run this week from the top end of the race course down to the start-finish line, but 35 seconds at the apex of that corner is mighty early, but they've got to hold their lanes now. So Nielsen should be in 1, Kelly should be in 2, Shane should be in 3, with Trey Holt on the outside. 15 seconds until our start. There's the exit pin of the corner. They will start to power up. You don't want to jump that clock. Jeff, 7 seconds. Bring them down.
Trey getting on the throttle on the outside. We're 3, 2, 1. Mark appears to be a clean start, and Jimmy Shane has nailed a start in lane number 3 in the Miss HomeStreet, but we look to the inside. Working into turn number 1. Brad, we got a triple decker to begin Unlimited 3A. Nielsen on the buoy row. Kelly in the middle. Shane on the outside. We come off turn number 1. Nielsen in front, and here comes Kelly in second.
Wow, this is great racing there. Look at that shot. 3 boats side by side up the backstretch in front of those fans on the log boom. Kelly is on the outside in lane 2. Nielsen on the inside. They are literally tied together. You can throw a blanket across those 2 boats. Jimmy Shane had the great start, but now you're seeing what the effect of that outside lane, and there goes Kelly. He went over. Kelly went over in the 12. It is all Jamie Nielsen right now out front in the 11 J&Ds.
Nielsen comfortably in front. We'll check with the officials to see if there was a violation. But, Brad, by my view, I just think JMK got in there a little bit tight, got into the tail of the 11. So Nielsen in front, and with Kelly going over, Shane has moved into second, Holt in third, Kelly in fourth. Brad, we're halfway through it. It's Chartreuse and Carnival Orange in front.
Yeah, the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange now running way out in front. He had his hands full with JMK, but unfortunately, Mike got the boat upside down. That has put Jamie Nielsen all by himself out front. I'm sure he's going to keep an eye on Jimmy Shane. But this Jamie Nielsen has been getting better and better every week. He looks strong as he puts 2 in the books, Jeff.
J&D's Jamie Nielsen, 2 complete, 1 to go. Beautiful boat ride as he enters the south turn here on the virtual Ted Jones Racecourse. Boy, we had a thriller going early on, but after the Kelly blowover, everyone has been strung out.
Jeff, we're getting word from the officials right now. We've got a 1-lap penalty on the 11 J&Ds. A 1-lap penalty on the J&Ds. That is going to put Jimmy Shane and the Miss HomeStreet as your leader up the backstretch here on lap number 3.
Thank you, Brad. There is your leader entering the north turn. So some blemishes here with penalties here in Unlimited 3A. Jimmy Shane will capitalize and gain on those. Final turn, final lap. The HomeStreet blue and white streaking to the start-finish line buoy. Here's your winner of Unlimited 3A, Jimmy Shane in Miss HomeStreet. And Brad, with that, Trey Holt out of Madison, driving for Corey Peabody, will get second. In the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream, J. Michael Kelly will get third in the Graham Trucking. And Jamie Nielsen, a tough break with that lane infraction, will cross fourth in the J&Ds. It was wild and woolly in 3A.
Yes, it certainly was. We thought it was going to be competitive. It was indeed that. That was quite the view coming out of that lower corner on lap number 1. You call it a triple decker. That's exactly what it was. They were stacked on top of each other, and that was as good as it gets in H1 Unlimited Racing. Tie a couple of boats together like that and to have all 3 of them there, that was pretty exciting. Unfortunately, we had the incident with Nielsen and JMK. But that's boat racing. That's what they'll all tell you. That's boat racing. You got to drive hard. If you're going to win, you got to drive hard. And you have to be aggressive. And sometimes that little bit of aggression can cost you. Unfortunately, it did for Jamie Nielsen.
Interesting score up. Great first lap, but penalties. Got the J&Ds and Brad with us. He's 3 for 3. Take her away.
He is Jimmy Shane. Well, congratulations there, young man. As Jeff Ayler just said, you are 3 for 3 in the preliminaries.
I got a little luck on my side that heat. Definitely, you can see how I was talking earlier about how much lane position is key. I tried to leapfrog them that heat because I thought they were up there so early at the 1 minute pin, but they were able to hold their position, and it's really, really hard to win from out in lane 3 and 3 more. 3, 4, 5, you're going to have a tough time trying to win the race. So got lucky, had some penalties, and it's going our way today so far.
So far, so good. You only got one more to go, and I know that's the one you really want to win. We talked about the importance of being on an inside lane. You wired the start. You had a beauty, but it's just tough with that much speed off to your left.
Yeah, I think it would have been, the boats are so even in this game. Everybody has the same boat and the same speed, and if it was a different scenario where I was in the actual Miss HomeStreet, I normally have really, really good equipment, and usually I can keep the speed up and stay out in lane 3 and do pretty well. But this game, that's what makes it so challenging, and I love it. It's everybody's even, everybody's equal, and it really comes down to timing and driving skill.
Well, and we are enjoying it. You guys are putting on a terrific show. Thanks for taking the time to jump up here in the booth with us. Only one more to go, my friend.
Let's go do this final. Can't wait.
I know you'd love to bring home the big trophy for all the fine folks there at HomeStreet Bank.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a hometown race for our sponsor, HomeStreet Bank, and we want to perform well. So we're gonna give it everything we got. We're putting the good gearbox in, the good prop on for the final. So let's see what happens.
I got that killer combination for the final. Go catch a glass of water, my friend. We'll see you in about a half an hour.
Thanks. Looking forward to it.
Jimmy Shane. Well, you heard it. They're going to put the good gearbox in and put the killer propeller on.
I think he knows how to work that 3D printer at Blue Origin.
I think so, too. Good stuff. Well, he's going to be in the final, and you mentioned we already have a couple of other competitors who have already cemented their spot in the final, in addition to Jimmy Shane. I believe you mentioned that J. Michael Kelly in the 12-gram trucking and Jeff Bernard in the 91 Goodman Real Estate are already assured of their spot in the final as well.
And coming up in 3B, Brad Taylor Evans came in here second in the National High Points in the Drivers Invitational Series. It's not been Taylor's day so far in the first and second section. He needs to drive clean here, get some confidence going into the final, because I know his virtual owners, Sharon and Kelly Stockland, are watching, and they would love to win the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. I'm sure they've been texting and calling their drivers saying, calm down, let's get in here, get a finish, and lay it all on the line come final heat time.
Absolutely. I look for him to have a real strong run here, but look for Mr. Bernard too. Jeff and it's all these guys. We say it all the time, Jeff. They're competitors. They just want to win. It doesn't make any difference if they're already in the final. There's national high points to play out here. So, Jeff's going to be driving very, very hard. Plus, it's just his nature, as it is with all of these drivers. They just want to win. Thank our sponsors one more time here before we get ready for our Heat 3B. I'd like to thank the folks at Staples, your one-stop shop for your home office needs. Staples in Spokane, Moses Lake, and Linwood. And the 3 locations of Angels Foster Care, the Angels Foster Care community in Spokane, Seattle, and the Olympic Peninsula. Woodshed Embroidery, Jesse Stitches, and Atomic Screen Printing. Thank them for their support. They have been with us all season long, and we thank them for their support. As I say all the time, Jeff, without our sponsors, we don't get to go racing and have this fun. And I'd also like to make mention of the American Powerboat Association, as H1 Unlimited is a proud club of the American Powerboat Association, the national authority for boat racing in the United States. The APBA is a member-driven organization established in 1903 and headquartered in East Point, Michigan. For more information on the American Powerboat Association, head to www.apba, that's www.apba.org, apba.org. Thank you, American Powerboat Association. It's time for Heat 3B, Jeff Ayler, the last chance for anybody to earn points, and then we're going to define our final. We're inside 10 seconds to our countdown to the 5-minute, 10-second mark. We are 3 seconds, 2, 1, mark. There's the Stan Sayers pit area there. You know, back in the day, Jeff Ayler, back before you were even around, they had a nickname for that little point of land out there. That was when they were running the piston engines and the old aircraft, piston-powered Rolls Merlins and Griffins and Allisons. They used to have a piece in the motor that was very troublesome, and it broke seemingly all the time. And it was a tiny little piece, and it was called the quill shaft. And that little point of land was nicknamed Quill Shaft Lagoon at one point in time. And there's still some old people floating around who mention that once in a while. So I guess that's me.
Quill Shaft. On board, here's our participants for Unlimited 3B. Jeff Bernard in the Goodman Real Estate. Jeff has walked into the final. He came in here in 3B with 780 points on the day. On board, Taylor Evans. We mentioned earlier, it's not been Taylor's day, so to say. He drives the 99.9. Bucket list, KISW Miss Rock. Taylor would like a win or a second, but better yet, a clean heat to get confidence going to the final. His teammate, Tennessee Orange, Aaron Salmon in the second. Sharon and Kelly Stockland entry. It's the bucket list racing. Aaron comes in here 8th in points. He needs some help. He needs some luck. He would like to make the final. And it's been a good day for Patrick Haworth out of Valleyfield, Quebec, Canada. In the dominant red U7, Boitano Homes. They are 6th in points coming into the third section. They need to score well to hope to make the final.
Good looking sight right there as all 4 of our boats here in our Heat 3B find their way down toward the lower end of the race course. We'll see if anybody or if all of them decide to just shut it down and park for a while. We are just now inside 3 minutes to the start of our Heat 3B. It's the last opportunity for boats to earn points and get into the final heat. I want to take this opportunity to thank a group of people that have been with us from the very beginning of the racing season this year. They're always on board. They're always watching, and that's that famous watch party going on. It's a pool party in Edmond, Oklahoma. Thanks for watching us here on the H1 Unlimited Virtual Hydroplane Racing Series. It is the Drivers Invitational. It is the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. They're starting to park down there, Jeff Ayler, J. Michael Kelly. He's still moving around. Or excuse me, that's the Boitano Homes there, the Patrick Haworth, the 2 red boats. JMK's not in this one, so Haworth will continue around the race course. You see the floating bridge in the background. He's going to come up behind everybody here, and let's see where he tries to stuff it. And he appears to go to the outside.
And Brad, great camera angles today by our video crew. Just like watching on Cairo 7 or King 5.
There you go. And Haworth, he came up behind everybody on the outside, then made a hard left-hand turn and moved to the inside lane. Now let's keep an eye on Bernard, who's coming up right behind him. It looks like Jeff's going to go inside of him. Yep, Jeff is going to go inside of Patrick Haworth. Still 35 seconds until that 1 minute mark. And Taylor Evans is sticking behind him. He's in the third lane.
Can Evergreen Raceway fill the infield in with water and have bumper boat demolition derbies?
I don't know why not. Oh, gosh. Guys are swapping a little paint here today. 15 seconds until the 1 minute mark. Bring him to that buoy, Jeff.
1:10 until the start. Bernard in that 1 position. Haworth slides in 2. Evans in 3. Salmon to the outside for 2, 1. Mark and everyone behind that 1 minute pin. Clean score up. Haworth hits the throttle. Brad, will he cross over and leapfrog? Does he have the boat links? It's close.
I don't think he does. He's going to try and leapfrog and get inside of Jeff Bernard, but Jeff says, not going to happen. Jeff has defended it by he as well putting his foot to the firewall and staying up and with Howarth. Patrick made a good move to try and get that inside lane. I think that shows how important it is for him to score well in this heat, but Jeff Bernard was not going to let him have it. So it's Bernard in 1. It is Howarth is going to be in lane number 2. Taylor Evans will be in 3. And then on the outside, Aaron Salmon in the 440. 15 seconds to our start. They're at the exit pin of the top corner. Jeff coming down to the start. They say it's a long run. Bring him down inside 10.
Boy, Haworth got off the throttle. He could get into some rough waters. We're 3, 2, 1 mark. An erratic score up. We're racing here in Unlimited 3B at the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. We go into turn number 1. Jeff Bernard, your leader on the buoy row. You saw Haworth go through the wake of Taylor Evans in 2nd. So, Brad, it's Bernard in front, Evans in 2nd, Haworth in 3rd, Salmon in 4th. Bernard looking to get 400 here. He's already locked into the final.
Yeah, he's looking for 400 more big points, and that will assist him in the Drivers' National Championship and the Boat Team Championship. That's what he's got his eyes on right now. And when he gets a start like that on the inside lane, if he keeps his boat on the water, he is going to be a tough drive to get around. But Taylor's going to take a swing at him here as they come down to put one in the book. But it's almost a full rooster tail for the 91, the Goodman Real Estate and Jeff Bernard.
Bernard in front on the inside. As you see the camera angle from the south turn, Bernard puts it on the hook. Taylor Evans in the 2nd position in the bucket list, KISW Miss Rock. The top 2 work through turn number 1, both off the exit pin. They get around this Ted Jones virtual race course quick. We're halfway through it. It's Bernard clearly in front. Evans slipping back some in 2nd.
We've been at this now for 70 years on Lake Washington, and it just never gets old. Looking at the floating bridge in the background there at the top end of the north turn of the Ted Jones Racecourse here on beautiful Lake Washington. It is all Jeff Bernard here in Heat 3B. Wired the start on an inside lane, and everybody's been looking at the transom of that black and gold 91.
White flag displayed, the 2nd entry for Miss Madison Incorporated here in virtual racing. In the H1 Unlimited Drivers Invitational, Jeff Bernard from nearby Kent, Washington, out in front. And you can see he's stretching the lead out bigger over Taylor Evans in the bucket list, KISW Miss Rock. Brad, half a lap to go. Gold and black looking for 400.
Looking for 400. He's just got to keep it on the water through the top end of the race course and stay clean. You see him flying the boat down the backstretch. You've got to fly it with the canard wing. That's how you get the speed out of the boat in real racing. That's how you get the speed out of it in the virtual racing. You've got to put air under it and fly it. Bring him home, Jeff.
Checkered flag waving. There's the start-finish line buoy. Your winner of Unlimited 3B, Jeff Bernard in the Goodman Real Estate. 2nd place and a good confidence booster for Taylor Evans in the bucket list, KISW Miss Rock. He should transfer to the front row of the final. 3rd position goes to his teammate, Aaron Salmon, in the bucket list racing, the 440. Crosses to get 225. It was a bold move to get lane number 2 by Patrick Haworth. A little tardy at the start. The Botano Homes will get 4th place. And Brad will have to go to the calculator to see if the 7 is the 6th boat of the front row final, or did the 98 creep up and steal it with that 2nd place finish back in 3A. We'll see how it tabulates out.
And I know you've got your calculator working there, so you will have those answers for us here shortly. So the preliminary heats are in the book at the 2020 virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. We will figure out, as Jeff Ayler just said, who the top 6 point getters are and who will be on the front row of the final. There will be 7 boats on the race course for that final heat because we will have a trailer boat. That will be the 7th boat in points. And it looks like we've got Taylor Evans that has come in here to join us. Taylor, can you hear me? You got Brad loose here.
I got you loud and clear.
There you go. A good run there in our Heat 3B. And now it's all done. We just got to start looking for points and see who's on the front row of that final.
That's right. That's right. Not the start to the day that I wanted, but I think as far as
And
points
Brad,
go,
we
I'm
see
looking
on
good.
the screen right now, Jimmy Shane, of course, in the final with 1,250. Jeff Bernard in with 1,180. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, we had a little technical issue there. But Taylor, it looks like you are in there and in on that final heat. So what do you do now? You've been racing these guys all year. You've been racing them all day. This is the one on the schedule you'd love to win here on Lake Washington in your home state. What do you do now between now and the final?
Well, now it's time to just calm the nerves and think of a good strategy for going into the final here. There's some really tough competition going into the Seafair final today. So just trying to keep my head clean and put the last heats in the past and look for the final.
Yeah, it all goes out the window at that point. And so I guess if you've got a killer move to get that inside lane, now's pretty much the time to play it.
Now's the time to play it. If I got something on my sleeve, I need to find it quick.
Well, I appreciate you coming up here to the booth and chat with us a little bit. We'll let you go grab a bottle of water because I know that final heat is coming up pretty quick. Good luck. I know there's a lot of folks in the area here would love to see that Tennessee Orange come across that start-finish line in first place.
That's right. I can think of a few.
I bet you can. Well, good luck, my friend. Have a good run in the final, and maybe we'll talk to you when it's all over.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Very good. Taylor Evans. He will be there in our final heat. And I think we have our final field has been established here in front of us. Jeff Ayler looking at it right there. Jimmy Shane is our top point getter. He will be on the front row of the final. He will be joined by Jeff Bernard, J. Michael Kelly, Jamie Nielsen, Taylor Evans, and Trey Holt has found his way in on the front row, driving the 98, the Graham Trucking American Dream. Our seventh boat, the trailer boat, will be Patrick Howarth.
Brad, my apologies. I was having trouble hearing Taylor, and I know he's looking forward to the final. I'm looking forward to it as well.
Absolutely. It should be very good. And as we've been talking throughout the day, it's virtual racing here in Seattle on Lake Washington because the COVID virus decided we were going to have a different schedule this year and we were not going to have our real racing on Lake Washington. And it's caused a lot of changes for a lot of people. H1 is trying to do their part by putting on this virtual racing, and I think we're having a lot of fun with it. But there's some serious work going on behind the scenes as well, and especially when you start talking about an organization like Seafair that has to put on an event like this every year. And it's more than just a boat race. It is a multi-week festival. There are activities that go on all year long that are a part of Seafair, and there are people that work on it all year long. For generations, Seafair has been creating memories for people of all ages, but sponsorship and ticket sales are not enough to cover the cost of producing a multi-week festival that touches over 2 million people each year. With all Seafair events canceled this year, they need your support to help this iconic organization to continue to create memories and unite communities for generations to come. To make a tax-deductible donation, simply go to seafair.org, that's seafair.org, and click on the gold donate button and discover the many Seafair gifts that are available as a thank you for your support, including a special collector's edition 2020 gold pin. Seafair created 50 numbered gold pins to celebrate 70 years of hydroplane racing in Seattle as a fundraiser for the festival. To help Seafair into 2021 and beyond, they need your support. Go to the website to make a tax-deductible donation. It is seafair.org. Click the gold donate button. Jeff, for those people like yourself and myself who grew up with races in our territories and in our communities and have gone to events like this for many, many years, it is so important that this continues because it really does bring communities, people, and families together.
It does, Brad. The 5 races on the series, Guntersville, Alabama, of course, here in Madison, Indiana, Tri-Cities, Washington is near and dear to your heart, Seattle and San Diego. We need them, support them. We're coming back in 2021. We want to get rid of COVID-19 in a hurry. I want it done now.
All right, I think we are ready to go for our final heat. It's a winner-take-all final, Jeff Ayler. And we go 5 times around the race course. Look at the boats coming away from the Stansares Memorial Pit area, established in 1957 exclusively for boat racing. And there's nothing like it. Final heat in any form of motorsports, it is something special. Time to bring out the big trophy, Jeff Ayler. It's final heat time.
6 boats on the front row for the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. It will be a 5-lapper, 10-mile final heat on board the gold and black Goodman Real Estate, the number 91. Jeff Bernard drives out of Kent, Washington. Jeff today with 2 firsts and 1 second. Next boat, the regatta sponsor, HomeStreet Bank, on board with Jimmy Shane out of Maple Valley, Washington. The U1 Miss HomeStreet, perfect on the weekend in racing. They were 5th fastest in qualifying, looking to sweep the races here today on the virtual Ted Jones race. On board with Taylor Evans out of Sammamish, Washington, the 99.9. Bucket list KISW Miss Rock. Taylor Evans today a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. The Chartreuse and Carnival Orange J&D. Jamie Nielsen drives out of Gig Harbor, Washington. Jamie Nielsen today 2 2nd places and 1 4th in heat racing. 5th participant, 1 to watch in the final. J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking. J. Michael from Bonnie Lake, Washington. JMK today a 1st, a 2nd, and a 3rd. The Botano Homes makes the final heat. Patrick Haworth out of Valleyfield, Quebec, Canada. His 2nd sim racing event. Patrick knows how to drive them for real. He's getting better in sim racing. Brad Luce, 2 minutes and 45 seconds away. They're already parking.
And you've got a traffic jam down there in the lower corner. And we would expect nothing else as these guys are going to jockey for position. We have seen how important that inside lane is. This time the difference is there's not 4 boats running in this heat on the front row. There are 6, and there's a trailer, and we go 2 extra laps. The water's going to get lumpy. It's going to get rough. You and I have said it many, many times, Jeff Ayler. Sometimes this next 2 minutes, it can get a little messy.
And Brad, real quick, the Botano should be the trailer. We forgot to mention our red, white, and blue boat, the U98 Graham Truck and American Dream. Trey Holt driving for Corey Peabody. Trey on the day, 1 2nd, 2 4ths. He will be the 6th boat on the front row, but he could get lane number 1 in the race before the race. Lane is not assigned to you. That's what makes hydroplane racing so unique on the water.
And that is one of my favorite parts of unlimited hydroplane racing. And you just hit the nail right on the head. It makes boat racing unique from any other form of motorsports, that lane not being assigned. So what is happening on the water right now and what is going to happen in the next 45 to 50 seconds is going to have a lot to do with the final outcome of the 2020 virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. 120 on my clock, Jeff.
From the aerial, we go inside the infield down to the south turn camera. There's a few up there parking. Shane is one of them. Here comes Kelly. Bernard right up there for lane number 1 right now, Brad. We're 2, 1, mark, and watch out for Kelly. And J. Michael Kelly was over, so he will cut through the infield. Good sportsmanship. So JMK is out of the running for the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. And Brad, is Taylor Evans going to get lane 1?
It looks like he's going to get it. He's just got to hold it up to the top end of the race course. Jeff is in lane 2. Jeff Bernard, he cannot come over on him. Now the lanes are established. So what a move. Taylor Evans is going to put the 99.9 Bucket list miss. Rock is going to be on the inside lane. Jeff Bernard, if he's going to win this one, he's going to have to come from 2. Jimmy Shane's going to have to come from 3. Nielsen's going to be in 4. We'll see where J. Michael Kelly comes. Tough break for the young man out of Bonnie Lake. He tried to leapfrog the field on the outside with boat speed, but he was too early. Bring him to the line, Jeff. We're up to 7 seconds.
Nielsen on the throttle. Shane Evans back. We're racing in the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. The start appears to be clean. Clean start as they fly into the south turn on the Ted Jones race course. And we got a quadruple decker in turn number 1 for the final heat. Taylor Evans in front. On the inside, Jeff Bernard in second. Nielsen in third. Shane in fourth. Brad, bring him to turn 2. It's a fight.
What a sight coming up the backstretch. Jamie Nielsen with some incredible boat speed, but he's way out on the outside. That's going to be tough. Oh, and over he goes. Taylor Evans cartwheeled the 99.9. He was on the inside. He got the nose down. The boat cartwheeled. He is out of it. Now it is Jeff Bernard with the lead, but he's got mirrors full of Jimmy Shane and Jamie Nielsen. This one's not over yet. Remember, Jeff, we go 5 times around.
1 complete, 4 to go. Bernard in front. We got a side-by-side battle for second between Shane and Nielsen. It's the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. Miss Madison Inc. running 1 and 2. Bernard and Shane. Bernard off the turn. 1.5 in, 3.5 to go. Brad loose. Jeff Bernard looking to crack the winner's circle in 2020 for the first time virtually.
And he has had such great success in the preliminaries, but he hasn't been able to pull it together in the final heat. But right now, he's got things going his way, but there's a lot going on behind him right now. Jamie Nielsen has moved to the inside of Jimmy Shane in second place, and J. Michael Kelly is driving very hard behind the rest of them. He may try and dive to the inside, see if he can't move up on someone. But boy, I'll tell you what, Jeff Bernard looks strong now. He's going to be tough.
2 complete, 3 to go. Jeff Bernard in the gold and black Goodman Real Estate. Make it a Rooster Tail advantage over Jimmy Shane in second and Miss HomeStreet. You saw Jamie Nielsen move to the inside wake as Shane back in third, trying to make up ground. We're halfway through the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. Bernard in front, and Brad, you're right, Kelly getting in the mix back and forth.
Yeah, he had the unfortunate jumping of the 1 minute buoy, and he started behind everybody, but he has worked himself into 4th position. Getting all the way up to the lead, I think, would be a bit of a tall order, but there you see him diving to the inside on Nielsen. He's going to get himself into 3rd, I think, but we've got 3 in the books, 2 to go, and it's a Rooster Tail for Jeff Bernard driving the 91, the Goodman Real Estate.
Bernard entering the south turn, and you see Kelly in the background. He is driving the wheels off the Graham Trucking. He made up that problem with the 1 minute pin, running in 3rd right now. Bernard in front. Shane, his teammate, chases in 2nd. Kelly in 3rd. Nielsen in 4th. 3.5 in, 1.5 to go for Jeff Bernard. Bernard looking to win the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair, but Brad, still work to do.
There is still work to do, and he's got his teammate, if you will, the other boat from the Madison stables in his right side mirror. And you know Jimmy Shane as well as I do. He will not give up. He's going to press Jeff and hope that he makes a mistake, because I just don't see him driving around Jeff Bernard. Give him the white flag, Jeff Ayler. He's got 1 to go.
4 complete, 2 more miles to go to victory for Jeff Bernard here at the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair. Bernard on the buoy row. Comfortable lead over Jimmy Shane. His time is running out for the HomeStreet Blue and White. Kelly in 3rd in the Graham Trucking. Brad loose, a half a lap to go. There'll be a party in Kent if he hangs on.
There certainly will be. He is up the backstretch here. Just got to negotiate the floating bridge turn one more time. Hang it on the hook, Jeff. There he does. There's some traffic in front of him, but they're going to stay out wide. He's got plenty of room. He is to the exit pin of the corner now. Jeff Ayler, bring home our winner of the 2020 HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair.
On board with Jeff Bernard, you see the start-finish line buoy. He crosses it, and there's your winner of the virtual HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair, Jeff Bernard in Goodman Real Estate. Second place will go to Jimmy Shane in the regatta sponsor, HomeStreet Bank. Third place, and what a great makeup and run by J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking. Crossed the 1 minute pin, cut through the infield, made that up, and will hit the podium. fourth position will go to Jamie Nielsen in the J&Ds. Jamie was driving hard in the final and will finish in the fourth position. Let's go with Trey Holt in the fifth spot. Oh, Patrick Haworth will get fifth in the Botano Homes. Trey Holt hit a buoy and will receive a one-lap penalty. He will finish sixth. And Brad Taylor Evans, boy, that was a wicked-looking wreck. Entering turn number 2 on lap number 1, he'll get a did not finish in the 99.9. And there's your 1-2 finishers at the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair, virtually owned, both boats by Miss Madison Incorporated.
I got to think there's some happy people there in your town, Mr. Ayler. The boats come home 1-2, and a great sight there as the two drivers came off the top end of the race course together. Good photo opportunity for the fans, and I think Mr. Bernard is finally going to have the big smile on his face. It's been a long time coming, and he's come really close, but he got this one today, and he had to earn it. That was some terrific racing. Tough break for Taylor Evans. That was I'm sorry that happened to him. I kind of wanted to watch that go on for a while because it was going to be a good one. I think we have Mr. Bernard here with us, and Jeff, if you can hear me, those preliminary heats are a lot of fun, but I got to think this final's a whole lot more fun to come home with the big trophy this time.
Oh, yeah. 1-2 finish for the Miss Madison race team. I hope everybody in Madison, Indiana enjoyed that one. Second time we were able to do it so far this year. Jimmy and I finished 1-2 in Madison. So I knew it was going to be a crazy score up. I was up there way earlier than I thought, so I kind of figured I was going to get leapfrogged. Really nervous having Taylor on the inside. He's awesome. I've really got to know him in the last month or two on this thing. Really enjoy racing with him. I'm sorry that he didn't make it through turn 2. I'm going to go back and look at it. I felt I left him one lane, but it sucks for him. He really wants to win too, and he's been doing an awesome job. But Goodman Real Estate's really wanted to win Seafair this year, and unfortunately we couldn't do that in real life. And I hope that they will enjoy this virtual win. We put in a lot of work to do it. I had a little screw up in heat 2 and lost my undefeated heat victories, but that's all right. If finishing a second made it so that I had better luck in the final, then I'll take it.
I am sure you will take it. And we've talked all day long about how competitive you guys are. This really gets your competitive juices flowing, doesn't it? I mean, this is serious stuff for you. Oh, man. The starting procedure is similar to what we used to do in the mid-2000s with the Unlimited, and then what we do all the time here in Region 10 and pretty much across the APBA and inboard. So it is the most nerve-wracking part of the race. It's you don't know what everybody else is going to do. You're hoping you hit your timing marks. This game's a little bit tougher because the boats don't quite take off like they do in real life. So hitting your timing marks are key, and just trying not to get leapfrogged, and then getting down into turn 2 to get on your timing mark again to come down for the start. It's very difficult, and you're on this game. My heart's pounding more on this game than it is in real life. I tell people that. I don't know if they believe me or not, but it's the absolute truth. And we just really want to do a good job for our sponsors, and it's an honor for me to drive for the Madison racing team and the whole city of Madison. I really hope they're enjoying this. It's really important for both mine and Jimmy's sponsors to win in Seattle. So 1-2, I hope John Goodman's happy, and Goodman Real Estates, and also HomeStreet. Both of them should be very proud, and both of us are 1-2 in the points. So we're looking forward to San Diego. I think that falls under the category of a good day. It was. Jimmy pulled out a little bit further than I would like in points by winning all of his heats, but I'm happy for him. The Madison, like I said, it's an honor for me to be a part of the team. A dream come true, to be honest with you. Working with guys like Mike and Larry Hansen and all of the crew is just awesome. And there's no greater fans in boat racing than the Madison fans. And to have them cheering for me
is a lot better than when I'm not in a Madison boat and they all hate you.
Now, that's good. I am sure they are very, very happy. I already mentioned to Jeff Ayler that there's probably some parties starting back there on the Ohio River as it flows past Madison, Indiana. Congratulations, Jeff Bernard. And as important and as real as this racing is, I will assure you that next summer, when we're racing the real boats at Seafair for the HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair, we will refer to Jeff Bernard as the defending champion. I think that sounds like a good way to go.
Well, it's been a long time since I've been called that. 2009 Evansville. I guess we had Tate and Jared over yesterday getting some videotapes that's never made the internet, like my Madison win that everybody asked for. And I don't know how to do that stuff, so they came over, and it should be up someday. There's a really good footage that was given to me, but they're like, "So you're the defending champion of Evansville?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I guess, since that was the last win." But this might not be the exact same, but I'm just thrilled because I just know how much Seafair meant to our sponsors, HomeStreet and Goodman Real Estate, my sponsor, Goodman Real Estate, to win it and to be able to do it virtually, and that's the only way we could do it this year. So I'm happy for them, and I hope they're really happy to try to get the boats back on the water next season. Real life.
You put on a great show. Thank you. I know it's a commitment in time on your part, and it's not the real racing, but it's the best we've got. And doggone it, you guys put on a really good show. 2020 virtual H1 Unlimited HomeStreet Bank Cup at Seafair champion, Goodman Real Estate, and Jeff Bernard. It's got a nice ring to it, huh?
Yeah, I also got Kelsey Best and my spotter, Tim Johnson. Kelsey and Tim kind of double did it in the heat, so we had basically two spotters, and then Tim in Tri-Cities and here this weekend he felt bummed because I didn't know in Tri-Cities that Jamie hit the buoy, and he put that on his shoulders, and it's a game at the end of the day. It doesn't really matter. So I told him we're gonna go and win Seattle, and I couldn't have done it without him and all the other E-League guys. I've made a lot of new friends that were fans of ours that never really you don't get to talk to busy at the pits that I've met on here. They've all been great. I'm happy to call them all friends, and I really enjoy hanging out with them every chance I get on here.
And you know what? That's part of the best part of this whole thing is there's new relationships being built. I can speak the same way. There's so many of those guys. I don't know who they are, but I've made new friends as well doing this. Yeah. It's a good show. It's for a good cause. Thanks for taking the time, Jeff. And congratulations. You're the Seafair champion 2020.
Thank you very much.
Brad, I wanted to ask him one question. Jeff, congratulations. And how do you celebrate this in Kent, Washington with your wife, Christabel, and daughters, Blakely and Rylan? A shot glass of apple juice, the drink of Washington State?
Well, my Rylan and Blakely are at my sister-in-law's house. They chose to spend the night there, so it's just Krista and I. And when I crossed the finish line, it's got the little delay on the live stream. I heard her hooting and hollering down there, and then she actually brought me up a beer, and I cracked it before I got back to the dock, which is kind of nice because can't do that in real life. And for everybody wondering, I actually did not hit the dock today when I parked the boat. So Goodman paint scheme is all intact, and well, actually, it might not be all intact. We had a couple of little bumper boats today, but Mike and Larry will get it fixed for San Diego. And I also got to thank Scott Pravilski too. Awesome game. This is awesome.
It is, and someone here on the I-1000 named Sue Troxel texted in, said she was pacing all the time. Who's that?
Yeah, I'm sure they're all watching. I'm ready to have a beer and go hang out with the E-League guys and talk about the race. I'm sure we'll end up doing a little bit more laps today. Just again, thanks Miss Madison Racing Team for having me involved with their team.
I'll tell you, Jeff, I'm actually right now, thanks to your lovely wife, Christabel, looking at pictures of you driving. And she said she indeed did bring you a beer right after you won. So it's a lot of fun. You know, we got to have
17 text messages already.
Go read them and enjoy. Congratulations. You are the champion. Nobody can take it away from you. Great job, Jeff. Thank you.
You guys too. Thank you.
All right. Jeff Ayler, that was fun.
It was a lot of fun. And Brad, as always, virtual or real, great working with you. You're top of the heap, and just glad to join in. And, before we leave today, we've thanked them before, but a big thank you goes out to H1 Unlimited, the Meyer brothers, the Rainey family, our sponsors. The videos today, the camera angles, like I said earlier, it was just like Cairo 7 or King 5. They were spot on.
They were spot on. The game gets better each time, and you mentioned thanking the people. I will echo that sentiment. I will add with the Rainies, I want to thank Scott and Shannon and their entire family that welcomed me into their home. I'm sitting at their kitchen counter right now, and we have a hard stop coming up at 2:30. We had to be out the door, and it looks like we're going to make it. So anyway, thanks to so many people for pulling this together. One more time, I want to thank our sponsors, our lead sponsor of Staples. We all know Staples, but they're your one-stop shop for all your home office needs these days when so many of us are working from home and you don't have a supply bin to go down to and you need something. Staples, that's where you turn, especially when you are in Moses Lake, Spokane, or Linwood. The Angels foster care communities. They wrap community around children and families in Spokane, Seattle, and on the Olympic Peninsula. Atomic Screen Printing. I think if you're a boat racing fan, you know these people from the Tri-Cities. They've been with us all year. Thank you to the folks at Atomic. Jesse's Stitches and Woodshed Embroidery. They too, doing custom embroidery work, have been on board with us all season long. Thank you. Our sponsors are the lifeblood of our racing and our sporting. Seafair, we think it was as good as we could pull together. We didn't get to do the real McCoy, but I think we put on a good race today. I think the fans will have enjoyed it. Don't forget to go to seafair.org and donate, help them out, and make sure Seafair is sustainable as we move into 2021 and beyond. The American Powerboat Association, without them, we don't race. Sponsors are the lifeblood, Jeff Ayler. You know it. So do I. We got to have them.
We sure do, Brad, and we thank all of them that was on board today. And we have a E-League race coming up next on the schedule in 2 weeks, and then the Drivers Invitational. We will get back into action with them when the actual San Diego race will take place in mid-September. So 2 more E-League races, 1 more Drivers Invitational race, and it's been a lot of fun. I want to thank my host out in Kent, Indiana, Travis Johnson, for having me out because he welcomed me out, and he got a little bit better internet connection out here in Kent than I do out on Rikers Ridge.
Very, very good. Well, Jeff Ayler, it was a good day of racing. The champion of the 2020 H1 Unlimited Virtual Hydroplane Racing Series, the Drivers Invitational for 2020, the winner at Seafair, HomeStreet Bank Cup, goes to Jeff Bernard and the Goodman Real Estate. Congratulations to them, their entire team. Thank our producer, engineer, Tate and Jared Meyer. Thank you to the entire Rainey family for all they do for racing in general and specifically for H1 Unlimited. Thanks you, Jeff Ayler. It is always a pleasure. It's always a treat. It's something I look forward to, working with my good friend from Madison, Indiana. On behalf of the Rainies, the Myers, and Jeff Ayler, this is Brad Lou saying so long. We'll see you down the road.